Buddy. So how many people here love to come up front and talk in front of everybody? Okay, we've got a few. That's good. That's more than I expected. How many, like this front row is a good sign of, avoid coming up here like the plague? There's something, come on, let's be honest. There's something to be said that there's studies that say some people would rather die than fear death more than they fear public speaking more than they fear death. Kind of like this. How many of us feel like that? So I'm here today to give you some tips and tricks on how you don't have to feel like that. Because really, when we think about it, we're all family here. We cheer each other on. Everybody wants you to succeed when you're up here, right? So if we come from that lens, how do we set ourselves up for success and make this easier? So there's two different types of presentations. There's a leave behind deck, one that's detailed, self-explanatory, shareable content that doesn't need you to explain what's going on. You can leave it behind, they can read it themselves, they can share it with others, and they get a clear understanding. Then there's a presentation deck. That's what I'm here to talk to you about today, and that's what I'm going to help you do a better job of creating. So this is visual, engaging, speaker-focused slides. Okay? So some of the common pitfalls. Too much text overwhelms the audience, kind of like this. I don't know about what you guys think when you see a slide like this. Most people, if you watch a room, they kind of tune out or they try to read, right? Or cluttered design and it's kind of hard to follow. Kind of like this. I'm going to talk to you today about long codes, short codes. Definitely not going to talk about that. There's no clear story or flow, which is like this. Where do I start? How do I direct your attention? How do you know what I'm talking about? Some of you are going to be looking upper right. Some are going to be looking lower left. Marketing likes to design slides like this, but this is something you would put in a leave behind deck. And then lastly, overloaded with details that really aren't that important. Like this. How are you going to even see that? At the back of the room, can you even see what the heck this is? No. So we don't use stuff like this. This is in a leave behind deck. So in our craft talks, what are we supposed to include? We include our background, stuff about our family, education history, things that we want to tell people about, what our role is in our business. What does our business do? How can we help the room? And most importantly, how can we connect? How can we create that EEA connection? And why is it important, to get to know my business so I can help the room? So Craft Talk 101, what are some of the things that we should be paying attention to? There's a rule of 7 that I'm going to go into. How do we use photography effectively? Use of animations, which you see me using here. I don't know if anybody's noticed. I have one idea or thought at a time. Keeps me on track. And I don't know about you, I think you know what I'm talking about as I go through my slides, because it's clear, because one item at a time. Slides are not speaker notes. So if I need to read my slide, I haven't practiced enough. So question, how many eyeballs are here? 72? Give me a show of hands. 86? 96? Anybody have a guess? Okay, there's some of you are fast counters, so you might have figured out. There's 96, but we had different answers and confusion in the room. How many eyeballs are here? 7. Easy to see. There's studies that have been done that the human brain can only absorb 7 things at once, right? So it's important when we're designing our slides to keep that in mind. The rule of 7, 7 words. Here I have actually 4 things because I have the dot before the word, words, the little logo on the right-hand corner, and the thing, the starburst. That's 4. Symbols, numbers, any design element on a slide constitutes 1 item. So it's really important to keep that in mind and simplify your slides, because really you're there to present an idea, a thought, a topic, and we all know our businesses. Not do this. So when we're using photos, one photo at an idea or at a time makes it extremely clear what we're talking about. Because photos create connection. So what I'm going to do here for the next few slides is tell you a bit about myself. So this is me in 1989 when I was taking telecommunications engineering. That was a project I created. And yes, I had hair. This is my dad and I. He was my mentor, my coach, who I bought the business from 25 years ago, and inspired me to do what I do every day. It's my wedding picture. I know I look like I was 17. I was 23. This was 32 years ago. My wife and I now today love hiking. This is us in Switzerland, in Kananaskis, and in the wintertime. Doesn't matter the time of year. Actually, we like winter hiking better than summer. A little bit of the wild side, where we're doing a Via Ferrata here in Switzerland. That heart rate. And then me stepping into the uncomfortable, coming in front of crowds. This is me public speaking at a conference in Calgary, which I would have been totally afraid of. This is my son, call him Fruity Pierce. This was a couple of years ago. This is him today. He's 24. And I think he likes a little bit of adventure as well. This is him when he traveled to Europe for 3 months and got certified scuba diving. So he's a bit wild and crazy as well. So you can see that this is more, what's better? One slide at a time, or me going upper right, bottom left. I showed actually more slides than here. I showed 12 pictures, and I can do it quicker. So hopefully, Mr. Death is moving away, and you start to gain a little bit more confidence in your ability to create, because it's easier for you for one concept at a time rather than a whole bunch. Again, you know the content. Slides are not speaker notes. We always tend to be uncomfortable up here, so we put way too many words on. You know what you're talking about? Put a title. Less is more, right? If we give too much information on the slides, people aren't actually hearing us because they're trying to read. Half the people are trying to understand what's on the screen. Keep it simple. I've used animations here that help me move in one idea at a time. So how do we, when I tell about my company, here's a little bit about Sunco as an example. Okay, at Sunco, our passion is to make business communications easier for our clients. That defines our why. Our niche is to be your trusted systems integrator, which defines our how. What makes us different? We have 3 uniques: our superior knowledge and experience, our providing the personal touch, we commit to that, and delivering quality. Not perfect every time, but we'll always pick up the phone and we're going to make it right. So this is an example slide of core values is extremely important to Sunco. So when we're presenting to prospective clients, we like to align their core values to ours to show that it's a fit. And this is an example of how we do it in a presentation. So for example, this customer, one of their values was customer-centric. We align it to we're accountable to the outcome. Trusted partnership aligns with our we bring out the best in each other. Innovation and expertise aligns to we do what it takes. Nationwide support, we do the right thing. Customer-centric, because they only have 4, we have 5, aligns to we embrace change. And you notice how I just fade out the other information? So is anybody not clear about what I'm talking about? You know exactly what line I'm on. So it's really important for us, with being a trusted systems integrator, to align our values with our customer, because we're not always the least expensive, but we take a lot of pride in what we do. So this is very important to us. So what's a good lead? Anyone who values our 3 uniques, what we think makes us a little different, wants to improve on customer service, if you're moving, multiple locations or remote workers, and you want to know more about AI and customer service, AI agents, and getting data to really amp up your business. So by this time, if you follow these steps, it takes away the stress of presenting, because I don't have to think, because what I'm going to talk about is the only thing on my slide. And I guarantee you, you will feel better. You'll feel like you have an angel. You'll even turn death into an angel if you follow these steps. So I did that in 10 minutes, right? And we covered a lot of information. So now I want to pause and go, who has questions?
Great presentation. What does Seinfeld do?
I didn't go through that part because this isn't my craft talk. Yeah.
So if you don't use your slide as a speaking aid, what do you use as a memory aid?
Practice is what you use, so that you go through and the word that you put on your slide, you know what you want to say with it. You don't have to memorize every word. Or you could have little cue cards that you hold in your hand. That you know slide 1 and you got your cue card, what you want to say. Slide 2, cue card. Anytime you have to read your slides, you detract from your audience connection. Anybody else?
What about pacing? What do you recommend for pacing? That seems to be a challenge for lots of people.
Yeah, so probably one of the hardest things is the art of the pause. But pause can be used to accentuate, just creates people to lean in. So it's a matter of just slowing yourself down and breathing. So if we can focus on your breath, then it's great. Sometimes we tend to rush through, but having one idea at a time helps you to slow down, because now you can control the pace. I timed this and I knew it was going to be 10, 11 minutes to allow for questions. Okay, back and then Mark.
Where did you learn these things? Just from experience?
So I took public speaking training, and that was one of the things that they trained on, the art of aligning a presentation to the speech. So some of the things with the animations that I did, like having the items come on one at a time, just Google it or go into ChatGPT. Or just ask me a question. It's really animations, and it's making something appear and disappear. It's quite simple. Mark.
Yes, I would just recommend that you mentioned practicing and knowing your material, and I would recommend that everybody do a dress rehearsal. There almost isn't a week that goes by where somebody's still got 27 more slides to show and they're getting the hook. So I would recommend that you time yourself, do a dress rehearsal a couple of times so you're going to fit in, you have enough slides to fill the time, but not too many to have it go on for another 2 hours.
Yeah, that's a great point, Mark, and it's a matter of, just to repeat, if you practice, most importantly, by doing one idea or concept per slide or at a time, like I showed you here, it's way easier to time yourself and control. So if you time yourself and plan your presentation for like 12 minutes, then you allow yourself a little bit of stress and anxiety stretching, and you allow yourself time for questions. Yeah, Mark.
Certainly my public speaking training, what I've found was very effective is engaging the audience, and so rather than just speaking to them, engage and get them to participate by asking questions. Hey, what do you think is the answer to this? Like, you were very effective where you said, hey, how many eyeballs are there on this slide? Do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, for sure, because, great point, Mark. So what Mark said is engage your audience, ask questions. People will very seldom remember what you say, but they will always remember how you make them feel. So how do you connect with your audience? And you can connect by asking questions, by being engaging, by giving stories. Stories is a great way of connecting. Giving examples of how you've helped top customers or helped one of your customers through difficult situations is a great way of pulling people to you and understanding your business, more than me just spitting out all the products and services I have. Right? If you can think about how do you create a connection. Joe.
I'm always been a big fan of creating experiences so people make it memorable. Do you feel like
It's the same thing. You're creating connection. You're making them feel good. You're creating a memory. You're creating an experience. It's all about that, and it's trying to create for audience, and then not stressing the moment when Catherine comes up and goes, "Oh my God." So one last a plug here to let everybody know I'm doing a TEDx talk in Devon, September 25th on real human connection, where I'm going to step outside my comfort zone even a little farther. If anyone wants to attend, I'd love to see you there. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Mike.